What's good, everybody, and welcome to Andromeda, where creators, collectors, innovators, and dummies come to explore the world of NFTs with Kev. And today is all about ENS domain names. Before you go and buy an ENS domain name, watch this entire video because I'm going to be breaking it down. I spent a lot of time researching it, and some of the best things I found on Twitter and on the web, I'm going to be sharing with you guys so you guys could, make smart decisions for what it is and some potential strategies on what to go for when buying. So this is a tweet from me. The vision is clear. I purchased 31 ENS domain names in the last 2 days. I'll be recording a podcast on what I looked for in purchasing and why I think ENS domains will blow up within the next 10 years. So this is the podcast I'm recording, and let's get into it. But first thing first is, what is the Ethereum name service? So we got to start with crypto addresses are long streams of numbers and letters designed to be read by computers. These long addresses have led to confusion and even loss of funds. So if you ever had to send somebody your Ethereum wallet address, you double check to make sure that, you copy the exact one. And what ENS domains are is simply one URL, just like a website name or email that represents that crypto address. So we'll dive further into that a little bit later. This is what really got my attention with the whole ENS thing is this tweet by Blockworks, where they quoted Visa, who said, "We envision a future in which your crypto address becomes as important as your mailing address." That is absolutely huge. What I take from that is that, this was going to be one of the primary forms of communication. So it's better to be early than late. So let's move forward. This guy, Bays.eth says, "We are so early on ENS that brands are going for their product.eth. This is nuts. Simple words are going to be worth millions. Water.eth, food.eth, coffee.eth." With Budweiser USA example. So what did Budweiser use? What is he talking about? Budweiser buys beer.eth domain name for 30 ETH. What that means, so 30 ETH is about $100,000 USD. And I still think that's pretty low, but Budweiser pretty much kicked off this revolution. In my opinion, it's the first real major company to buy their domain name and, kind of take it public and get creative with it. So this is a tweet from Budweiser, cracking open a beer.eth, probably nothing. NFT Beer Fest, and they literally had bottles of cans of beer that said beer.eth, king of NFTs, and on the original can said Bud, king of beers. So you could see how they're kind of using this innovation to move them into Web3, and you could particularly see on who exactly they're trying to target with this. Crypto enthusiasts, of course. So NBA.eth, Gucci.eth, Puma.eth, Hove.eth, Eminem.eth, and many more brands and individuals are onboarding to Web3 with ENS domains. .eth equals .com of Web3. And it just shows Puma.eth got their domain name. Hove, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, got his domain name. Eminem purchases the Eminem.eth ENS domain name for 15 ETH. He won't be the first, and he's not going to be the last celebrity who goes after their domain name. So let's dive further. And I really love this clip. This is a clip from Vitalik Buterin. And I'll just play the clip with him basically describing ENS domain names, pretty much like a decentralized phone book, which I think is absolutely massive. So let's listen to this.
Cases beyond DeFi will emerge. What uses of Ethereum you expect in a world where gas is cheap, bandwidth is pretty big.
I mean, I'm hoping that ENS is going to get used much more. I think ENS has been still the most successful non-financial Ethereum application so far. I mean, for those who don't know, ENS is the Ethereum name system. Like what it is, it's basically a kind of decentralized phone book, right? So basically, like anyone can go and register a name. So for example, I have Vitalik.eth. if there is a smart contract on Ethereum that stores a mapping that Vitalik.eth points to 0xD8DA, blah, 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 right? Like my Ethereum address. And so if you go in like any Ethereum wallet, like MetaMask supports this, Brave supports this, like I think all of the big Ethereum wallets support this. Like if you want to send me money, which by the way you shouldn't, you can type in Vitalik.eth and then like type in how many trillions of dog coins you want to send, and then you click send, right? Like you don't even have to copy paste my address.
That's right.
Yeah. So ENS I think is like an amazing Ethereum application. A lot of people use it.
Okay, so that was Vitalik's take on the use cases and the potential for ENS domain. So do not sleep on this. It's extremely early. Let's keep diving forward. All right. So I know we talked about the background, who's been collecting it, what is it all about, and the basics of it. Now, I want to talk more about what, like right now, it's mainly used as, you know, people flexing on their Twitter. Like, for example, Lambo Jesus has ultimate8.eth. That's kind of the way he's using it. Some people send it to make sending payments easier. But what will this thing actually be? How will this grow and become bigger than the .com? And let's go into, you know, actual use cases for the ENS domain. And what ultimate8.eth has is a universal username, bank address / account. You know, it'll be used as email. It'll be used as your Web3 address. It will be used wallet address for various coins, address for smart contracts, for automated payments / management. That's some of the stuff he said, and he made a part 2. It'll be used as a phone number where people could contact you. It will be used for driver's license, passport, social security information. It will be used as insurance info. Overall, the master link to various accounts: Netflix, bank, school log, and work log, and passports, movies, concert, events, everything. Basically, he's saying anything that requires a login or some type of form of communication on the web will be the use case of your Ethereum domain, which is very interesting. Because if we move on, let's look at what Ethername.eth said. He said .eth is greater than .com. Decentralized ownership, decentralized website, wallet address shortener, decentralized trading, registered on the blockchain, DAO token. So you could start to see why this has potential to be greater than the .com. You know, and I was talking to some friends earlier, and they said everybody is going to need an ENS domain, but everybody doesn't need a .com. You know, only people who need .com are like businesses and people who are trying to display something on the internet. But everybody who's going to have a presence in the metaverse or have an online identity is going to need a .eth name. So let's go to Daniel.this.eth and let's see what he said. High-end market is starting to use USDT/USDC instead of bank wires for lots of luxury goods: watches, cars, jewelry, real estate, yachts, plane rentals, etc. Nobody wants to deal with banks and their slow wires while they ask you dumb questions. Global economy shifting to ETH. Now, think about this in terms of .eth. Who is going to want matching ENS to make payments easier and smoother for their clients? Everyone. Focusing on major luxury watch dealers, car dealers, yacht dealers, brokers, agents, title companies, etc. So that's a perspective from Daniel, which is pretty good. That's a strategy right there, focusing on, you know, luxury dealers. This is also another tweet from Daniel that I really liked. Plot twist: if you're actively marketing or trying to sell your ENS names, you're doing it wrong. This is a long-term game for the big boys. Develop a thesis, build a catalog around that, and let sales come to you whenever the universe is ready, whether that's 5 months or 5 years. Guys, holding an ENS domain is highly, highly, highly liquid. It's not liquid. You know, don't expect to unless it's like a god tier domain name, which I'm going to get to a little bit later. Don't expect to flip them. Have a good strategy. I'm personally going after corporations and hold it until they come for you. But if you're like, what he's saying makes perfect sense. It's not a liquid game that you're playing with ENS domains. You know, this scenario might not play out might take up to 5 years, 5 to 10 years for the scenario to play out. But when it does play out, boy, are we in for a major fucking payday. GSC.eth said ENS is being rapidly integrated into all sorts of things now. As in sign in with Ethereum, combined, this should speed up mainstream adoption. It's already happening. No one was interested in collecting ENS domain names a few months ago. This is rapid growth. I certainly was not interested in collecting this a few months ago. I didn't even get the ENS airdrop because I didn't have an ENS domain before the airdrop was released. That being said, shows you the rapid growth because you're watching this video right now. You have some sort of interest. I did the research. I have some sort of interest. The trend is going upwards. The number of users, the number of names being registered on a daily basis is only trending upwards. So let's continue. I thought this was hilarious by Saint Chad of Mercia. He said, don't know why everyone's shilling ENS names. Unless it's God tier, you will lose money on domains. And I 100% agree with this. But the thing about this is that you only need one to hit. You only need one to hit for a major payday. Think about that. You only need one good one to hit for a major payday. So if you collect 100 smartly with the right thesis, of course, don't just collect, green elephants. Collect, form a thesis based off of what we've been walking through this video so far and in the rest of this video. And just like what Daniel said, this hold them for a couple years and you'll be fine. But I think Saint Chad of Mercia has a great point. You would probably lose money on the bad ones, but the 1 or 2 or 3 that you do sell, that you took the time to research and collect, is going to be a fat payday for you. Let's look at what Naruto.eth said. Oh man, what a god tier name that is. He says billion-dollar companies won't just be buying one of their domains. They will buy the whole lot. Example, Hilton.eth, HiltonHotels.eth, HiltonRewards.eth. If you get what I'm saying. And that's kind of been my strategy here is I'm going after the big corporations. I'm going after the big brands here because they have the fat pockets and the fat wallets that's going to give me the payday that I want. Collecting cool names that people might want, sure, that's great and all, but I'm going after the real deep pockets who it is not going to even tickle them, to give $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, whatever the price number is, $100,000 for a couple of their domain names. And this is a very tricky thing because I do feel like these major companies will still collect the lots of them because they want to avoid scams and fraud and people rerouting their main traffic away from the domain they actually want to send them to. So even if Hilton never uses Hilton Hotels, I still think they'll be very interested in acquiring Hilton Hotels because they don't want any imposters or frauds to take away from Hilton.eth. So that's something to think about. And that's kind of my strategy. And like I said, you only need one. You only need one to hit. So let's keep going forward. And this is another great strategy. This guy, Rob, says, I officially own 8 out of the 12 Italian zodiac signs, all of them secured until 2030. So that's another thing to do. Go after other popular languages because these are, we all know these are gone in English, but going after other languages of popular things is it could be a very smart play to make. Obviously, the English language is number one as far as what you want to attack, but without a doubt in my mind, Italians from all over the world are going to be interested in their zodiacs. Everybody likes zodiacs as far as it's relevant across the world. So not a bad strategy. Think about getting domain names in other languages that are extremely relevant to that language. And Bashara.eth, this is his strategy. The amazing actress Evelyn Sharma, 15 million followers. He got her domain name for sale. And he says one of my favorite YouTube channels, The Info Show, 12 million followers. he got their domain name for sale, the infographic show.eth. So he's clearly targeting big brands, big services. Right here, Aerotech, he got aerotech.eth, and Kelly Services, he got kellyservices.eth. So this guy is he's going after the big brands and the big influencers. Look at this. So this just happened last night. Do you think they'll be the first clothing brand to purchase their ENS domain? Let's see. And he has brookbrothers.eth. So he's thinking very creatively on how he's collecting these things. And that's another one. Go after the influencers, go after the big YouTube channels, go after the businesses that aren't like extremely mainstream, but probably going to need their ENS domain name. And this is from ps.eth. I hope I said that right. But he basically gave a summary of the top 24 ENS strategies. I'm just going to pull this up. Numerics, dates, rarities, two wording, think Web3 websites, plurals, OGs. So emojis, graphicals, copycat. So he's basically giving other strategies and ideas that he's using to collect ENS domain names, which could be valuable, could be useful. Check it out there. And then this is what Alex said here. He says stacking 3-letter ENS domain, arguably one of the best ways to long Ethereum cultural expansion, which absolutely makes sense. If you believe Ethereum is going to continue to grow, if you believe it's going to be the number one server or platform, then stack as much as you can. Now, with the 3-letter domain names, something to be mindful of being early with them. They do cost a premium to register a 3-letter domain name, and they do cost a premium to renew. So keep that in mind when collecting your 3-letter domain names. And I kind of just wanted to show you guys some of the domain names that I collected and my mindset and strategy behind those. And don't go stealing my strategy, man. Go find your own. Don't go taking my stuff. This is what I'm doing. The NCAA is obviously the major committee for college sports and all that good stuff. So I got NCAA hockey, shop NCAA, NBA rookies, virtual shoes. I was surprised virtual shoes was still on the market. Like, this is what I mean. If you do research, you could find some good shit. And it's crazy because Nike mentioned virtual shoes in the article a couple times. So I'm excited to see where virtual shoes goes. But NFL season, NBA season, Nike jerseys, NCAA golf, NFL jerseys, NCAA tickets, NBA fans. I really love NBA fans, NFL fans, NFL teams, NCAA playoffs, NCAA schools, NBA teams, NFL staff, NFL coaches, NBA staff, NBA coaches, so, NCAA sports, Lazy Degen, one of my earlier ones before I thought about the brands. I still like it though. I like Lazy Degen. Vision board. I'm surprised that one was still available. So you guys see my strategy, man. I'm going after the NBA. I'm going after the NFL, and I'm going after the NCAA for major collaborations and partnerships. I hope to one day do a bulk deal with the NBA, NFL, and NCAA, and send them all these domain names, whether they use them or not. It'll be valuable for them in what they're trying to do. So that's pretty much my strategy. I'm going to be, obviously, once I collect as much of these as I can, I'm going to be moving on. I'm not going to tell you guys what that one is yet because I haven't started collecting those, but I'm going to be moving on to other corporations and other associations and leagues and things of that nature. Man, I'm just going after the big bucks. I'm going after the companies and the corporations and the businesses that generate millions, and not even millions, billions of dollars a year, who has absolutely no problem shooting me $1 million for other domains or $5 million for other domains. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. And who knows, this might never play out. Like I said, this is not financial advice. They might see NBA team.eth and never have any interest in it. But I wouldn't be surprised if a DAO forms around NBA fans.eth and a group of fans come together and like, yo, you know what? We want to buy that domain name. I do see things like NCAA golf and NBA season and things like that being attractive. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I'm in no rush. I really love shop NCAA. So like I said, I'm in no rush to sell these things. I know how valuable they are. I know what I got. And I'll let the NBA, NFL, and NCAA approach me, and when that time is right, when they do approach me, I will do a bundle deal with all of them, hopefully for a multi-million-dollar payday. That's kind of my strategy. So with that being said, I hope you guys got some good insight from this video. I hope you guys got some good strategies and some different perspectives on how different people are kind of looking at domain names. You know, some people are looking at different languages. Some people are looking at celebrities. Some people are looking at corporations. Some people are looking at different departments within corporations, like the Hilton Rewards, Hilton Hotels. There's so much different ways you could approach this. The way why I particularly took the sports market in the sports route is because I personally like sports, so I related to it. Find one that you like, find a niche or a category or segment that you like, because if you like it 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, there's other human beings on the planet / businesses / there's businesses on the planet, and other humans are keywords or phrases that people are going to relate to and people are going to like as well. So if you like makeup, for example, go after the biggest makeup brands. Go after the subcategories within those makeup brands. What are the nonprofits within those makeup brands? What are the particular? I don't know. You know, get creative, do the research, sit down, and actually put in the time. But what I do know, without a doubt in my mind, or at least what I do expect, is that somebody's going to reach out to me. The NCAA, the NFL, the NBA, and I only need one of these to sell. I only need one of these to sell. One, to recoup my investment. Two, for a major payday. So we'll play it out. But with that being said, guys, please leave a comment in the videos. Let me know how you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know where you are in your ENS domain searching journey. And with that being said, Andromeda out. Thank you. Peace.